And here with another quick video, and this time, this is something completely new for me. I bought a test pressing. In fact, I bought two test pressings, and I just thought I'd just talk a little bit about those and the bands. And I hear you thinking, why the did you do that? Well, it was curiosity, no more than that. I'm not really a sort of attempt to collect rare records, or I'm not terribly a completist either. Though there's some sort of maybe challenge to that in me buying at least one of these test pressings. So why did I do that? Well, I got an email. In fact, I got two emails the other day from Fire Records, who I've bought some records directly from before, and related to two of the bands that I bought stuff from. I got an email, and it was sort of, they were selling test pressing, so I sort of clicked the link onto their Bandcamp site, and the first of them was, there were four. This has only just come out. I happened to be sitting there when it came through, and so I went. I had a look. There were four available, and one had already gone. And I thought, and the price, the price was sort of. I mean, obviously these are single albums, and the price was around about what you'd expect to pay for a new double, shall we say? So it was £5 or so more than it might have been. So anyway, curiosity got the better of me, and I clicked buy. And the first of them, I might also say a mate of mine from way back also had the email on one of the bands here and forwarded it to me, thinking I might be interested. By then I'd already done the deal. So here we go. It's got a blank label on because it's a test pressing. So luckily, I've worked out which is side one because I had a look at the run out, and it is the Groundhogs, Who Will Save the World. Now the Groundhogs, late 60s, early 70s, predominantly blues rock band. I did see them a couple of times around 72. And this is the actual album of it, Who Will Save the World, The Mighty Groundhogs. And this is one of two albums they released in 1972 in a run, I think, a classic run of four or five really, really strong albums. And in some ways, this is one of the weaker ones, and it's still fabulous. I long lost my original. I had it back in the 70s and don't know what happened to it. In those days they were on Liberty. Recently they've been looked after or by Fire Records, who have been running through their albums and producing or releasing reissues and really good reissues, mostly on coloured vinyl. So this one came up, I think, in 2021. It was resplendent on yellow vinyl, so I bought it then because I'd lost my other one, and I didn't have it on CD either, bizarrely. So here I go. I now have the test pressing of that release. So I listened to it yesterday, and it is slightly cleaner. But I may be convincing myself of that. There was certainly slightly less surface noise than on this one, but that may be because I've played this a few times. Who knows? So that's an interesting one, and maybe I'll do one of these little videos on that run of Groundhogs records, because they're pretty spectacular, and I do have them on various formats. And the other one I got again is the same. There's nothing other than the fact somebody's written Vapor Theories and the catalogue number on there. And again, it's like the other one. You can tell the difference. So the Vapor Theories. The reason I think they sent me this, because I've never heard of Vapor Theories, to be frank, is I have bought stuff from the band Bardo Pond. Now, Bardo Pond, if you don't know them, I think of them as post rock, but they're very much at the sort of psyche, scuzzy, shoegazy end of post rock. And they're a band out of Philadelphia, I believe. Going back to the 90s, produced not exactly. They produced lots of EPs, I think, and I have a couple of their full LPs and a few EPs in digital formats, one FLAC and a few MP3s, and I bought their Volume 1 and Volume 2 were released a couple of years ago by Fire Records, and they're sort of outtakes and studio stuff, and it's interesting rather than wow. But this interested me because it's a side project from the two guitarists and brothers who are John and Michael Gibbons. So they're the guitarists from Bardo Ponds, and they're very sort of scuzzy, and rather appropriately, this LP. It's a sort of shortish LP, but it's more than an EP, I think. Is called Celestial Scuzz, and that actually is a description of it, because that's very much what it is. It's instrumental, scuzzy, and it is celestial. It's almost ambient. It sort of could be. It could be a soundtrack, and I've just played it once through, and I really enjoyed it. So, would I have bought the LP? Well, yeah, I would have done. It came out in 2021 as well. I would have done if I'd known about it, but I didn't, and so now I just have it on a test pressing. So nothing to compare it with. Bizarre. I've never bought one before. Probably won't again unless But there it was, and I thought, interesting. So my quick venture into test pressing. I don't know whether anyone else has done any of these, but they fell into my lap. The price was okay, and with the Groundhogs, I am a bit of a completist, though not a true one, and it sort of goes with the others I've got, which typically I've got in more than one off. So there you go. I'm rambling. Thanks for listening. Cheers.